on the Sportsbet app. Any 4 of these 5 guys to score 20 plus across the weekend, you get $3. Now, of course, a couple of the guys here play twice, so make sure you check that out on the app. And as always, our Sportsbet same game multi. I think Melbourne United will get the job done. Chris Goulding and Ian Clark, always prolific. Cooks and Tui also involved. Sydney and Melbourne, enjoy the game.
Chances are you're about to lose. For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.
A huge Friday night ahead in the Hungry Jacks NBL as the Josh King era begins for Southeast Melbourne up against the Tasmanian Jack Jumpers, and then it is Perth taking on Illawarra. First place Illawarra against 6th place Wildcats. Damon Lowry and Pete Hooley back alongside me. That is a huge Friday night doubleheader.
Cannot wait for that one. The first game, Josh, the Night King, makes his debut coaching the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix. That's going to be awesome. Tasmania's Trills trying to figure some things out. And obviously, Pete, the 9:30 game. I'm going to have to take a nap during the day, but I'm ready for it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that one with you. We were calling that one together, so you better bring the energy.
Thursday night hoops, so to start with, and it is the Kings travelling to Melbourne. Melbourne United up and about after back-to-back wins. Damon Lowry, your key battle that will be decisive in this one.
Jack Walter White against Xavier Cooks. 2 uber athletes, 6'8", love to rebound, love to get it in transition, dunk on people. I think that matchup, among others, will definitely be key to who's going to win this game.
I like yours, but again, you took that. So I've gone Bullquall and Chris Goulding. I think Bullquall's going to go to Chris Goulding, really try and be physical off the ball to limit him, because Bullquall understands as well everything that Chris Goulding's being motivated right now, but he also understands that he is the engine room for Melbourne United. If they want to roll, they usually go through him.
I do love the fact that even Brendan Favola is getting fired up about the prospect of Chris Goulding putting on an absolute show tonight. But this one will be one to watch. There's no doubt about it. That is your key matchups, but I want to hear about your bold predictions. You better make it bold, Damon.
My bold prediction is Cameron Oliver will get 25 points and the win.
That's all you got for me. I would have rather, let's go start with 25 minutes and we'll work from there from him. But I like it. I think he's going to have a big one. I've gone with Xavier Cooks and Jack White to combine for 30 rebounds. I think they're going to have some massive efforts on the glass, and they can do it either way. 20 and 10, 15 and 15. Jack White had 19. I think Xavier Cooks understands that. They'll split 30 between them. In
all seriousness, though, will Cam Oliver be taking it personally tonight? Will he have a chip on his shoulder?
He has to. He's a professional, so he's not liking what he's been doing so far. He knows he can do more, and now he's going to step out and show it, hopefully.
Happiest person right now is probably Olgun Ulich that Derek Rucker put that on there and Cam Oliver, because now we've forgot all about the Kendrick Davis one. Enter the next nap.
I love the fact that the players are all interacting. We heard your tips before, but one more time, who are you going for tonight?
I'm flipping it up. I think Sydney are going to come out firing.
You jumping ship. Yeah, nah, Kings for mine.
Stick to your guns, Hools. Don't go anywhere, because we've got live action coming up shortly. Lee Montagna leading the way for our coverage. Sydney Kings up against Melbourne United. Dean Vickerman hoping to make it 3 wins in a row in the Hungry Jacks NBL.
It is a Sunday afternoon destroyation. A 43-point win for Melbourne. One of their biggest in franchise history. All smiles for Melbourne United. They'll be back on their home floor on Thursday night. They host the Sydney Kings.
I think there's frustration now within the group. Our group's really hurting.
A team as stacked. A team coached by Brian Goorjian, going 0-2 this weekend. Gee, this Sydney Kings team, it's hard to trust them right now.
The Sydney Kings, they lost their last 2, Melbourne won their last 2. They lose 2 games on the road that they shouldn't be losing. They're struggling. The Sydney Kings are struggling.
It's big anytime these two get together, but this game has become massive. 2 of the biggest teams in the NBL with 2 very different form lines coming into this one tonight. Melbourne United chock full of confidence after back-to-back wins last weekend, while the early season title favourites, the Sydney Kings, finding themselves under a little bit of pressure and looking to bounce back in a big, big way. It's a big hello and welcome as we kick off round 7 of the Hungry Jacks NBL. Alongside me tonight, Alice Kunek, Pete Hooley, and Alice, as we take a look at the Mitsubishi Motors ladder, for all the doom and gloom around the Sydney Kings, if they win tonight and they find a way to cause an upset, both teams will be sitting on 6 and 4.
They will, Joey, and we know that they've lost the last 2 games, you know, back-to-back losses by a margin of 3 and 4 points. And I'm sure they'd want to get those games back, but we know just how close this league is and how close games can be, and the ladder is so close. It's the NBL here. So we know that if they have a win tonight, they're back in the race, they're playing good, and we're talking about another team next week is exactly right.
The man we've been talking a lot about this week, Pete Hooley, Cam Oliver, a lot of attention. He's joined in the Twitter debate. He's put himself out there, which I love. Now we need to see him back it up out here tonight.
It's going to be interesting again. Brian Gorgon was talking to Nerily Meadows beforehand about it, and he says that, yes, he's had a chat to him attitude-wise and really temperament-wise about what he's showing. You can understand the frustrations when this stacked Kings roster just isn't getting it done on the floor like many expected, but it is a very long season, and make no mistake, he's a superstar of the competition. He is a 35-minute starter on any other league in the league, and just so any other team in the league. Just so happens he's on the most talented roster we've seen in some time, and you've got to figure out where you best fit.
Yeah, and you look at how good he is, and we know that Derek Rucker lit a bit of a fire under him and spoke to him. We want to see that him responding, but we see Xavier Cooks on the screen here averaging, you know, the 17, the 9 rebounds and the 4 assists, and just how amazing he's been for this Sydney Kings team. But he needs people with him. He needs people to come along with him. They've played some really good basketball so far, but it's just those closing games that they're really lacking there, Joey.
Yeah, he's the only player in the league that leads his team in points, assists and rebounds. Pete Hooley, we believe Jalen Adams will suit up. Not sure how much court time he'll get, but a lot rests on this man's shoulders.
He's been terrific, and again, the look of the numbers and the production that he's had this season, he's shooting the ball more confidently, still could be a little better from the free throw line especially, but the Kings are going to be as good as Xavier Cooks takes them to be, and again, he's putting up MVP numbers because this is his expectation right now.
And what about Melbourne United, the master coach, Dean Vickerman? They've had injury concerns as well. Shayeli's back tonight. Dellavedova didn't play some minutes, but they just continue to do what they've always done.
They do, and he'd be pretty impressed with how they've been going, you know, not having Shea Illy, not having Daly, you know, for some of those games, but sitting second in the league. But Dean Vickerman is one of the best coaches in the league, and you know we'd all. I mean, you played up with him, but we'd all love to be coached by him. But we know what a mastermind he is. We know that he can get guys who hate each other play together and love each other. So you know it's great to see what they've been doing out there.
This man right here, Jack White, he's going to be the direct matchup against Xavier Cooks. I talk about Cooks. I've got PJC, Montrezl Harrell, Kendrick Davis, and Jack White in the MVP conversation because Jack White, his points per game could be a little better as he continues to shoot the 3 ball a little bit more, but what he's doing rebounding, what he's doing defensively is why he'll be in the conversation if he continues this. He has been terrific, and I cannot wait to watch him go against Xavier Cooks. You've got 2 guys who are contesting for the power forward position of the Boomers for the next 5 to 6, 7 years. They're both around the same age. They both play the same position. Looking forward to seeing how it plays out.
He's been one of the great inclusions in NBL25. He's a beast, and we know all about this man, Chris Golding. There was a bit of noise around some of his antics a few weeks ago, but he delivered in a big way last round. The 25 points, the 15 points, he's still a star.
He is a star, and Chris Goulding is one of the biggest stars in this league, and how lucky we are to have him right in front of us right now. But you know, for all that his downfalls are, his glory is just twice as good. You know, we see him make tough plays time after time. He gets his team involved in the game. He's passionate. He loves this Melbourne United team. He loves playing in front of these Melbourne United fans, and he's delivering for this team. And it's great to see them sitting second on the ladder.
Yeah, expecting a big night again from Chris Golding in front of his home fans. Always steps up on the big stage. We take a look at the starting 5s, and it's Flynn Cameron, Pete Hooley that will remain in the starting lineup despite Shaylee being back. Dellavedova, they will both come off the bench. He's going well.
It's what Dean Vickerman does. If you step in and take your opportunities like Flynn Cameron did, you will be rewarded in the next game until Shaylee comes back in game fitness. He's on baby watch, Joey. We may lose Shaylee at some point in this game. They're welcoming their 3rd child soon. But it's good to see Flynn Cameron back out there.
Yeah, we will get an update from Nerily Meadows throughout the first quarter. And there's the starting 5 of the Sydney Kings talking about being rewarded for form. Liafra in the starting lineup, and Jalen Galloway getting some minutes.
This is fascinating. I like this. He understands right now it's going to be Chris Golding and Ian Clark leading the way. So he's put his 2 best wing defenders in Qual and Galloway in. But we've always been calling for more Jalen Galloway this season, so I like that he's thrown into the starting lineup.
Righto, Thursday night hoops, Hungry Jacks NBL to kick off round 7. It's the 2 heavyweights. Let this get underway. And it's going to be Flynn Cameron, of course. Melbourne United, they won their last 10 Thursday night games. So they're going to look to start fast. It's Lowe who finds White. He's all alone under the basket. Foul off the ball though. It's Alex Tui.
Keep your eyes on Bullquall and Chris Golding. Already 13 seconds in. There's already some holding, some physicality.
How long till Bullquall's first foul on Golding, Pete?
Well, they're going to be watching it. The referees know for sure.
Now Ian Clark. They go down low. Lowe had the mismatch. Good active hands from Liafa. Lowe mops it up. First bucket. As we said, Jalen Adams, we believe, may suit up. Not sure if he's going to get any minutes. And Isaiah Liafa, up one of the best games of his career last week. Really the only point on offense for them. Plays facilitator, and that'll do the confidence the world of good for Bullquall. Just averaging 6.5 points a game this year, Bullquall. Lowest of his career. It's Low. He's been struggling a bit from the three-point range this year. Shooting just over 20%.
We want to get that back up. He's a terrific shooter. He's Rob Lowe throughout his career. And there's Bullquall, 3-and-D. One of the best 3-and-D players in the competition.
And now here's young Tui, who had a quiet weekend last week. Straight away draws the foul.
And that's a mismatch that Sydney Kings can really exploit. If Rob Lowe switches on to him and he's playing on him, I think he matches him and he excels him in his foot speed, so he can really take it at the rim, and it's good to see him get into the foul line early.
I don't think Rob Lowe will stay in this lineup right now for very long. I think if they're going to play small, the Sydney Kings have basically got Tui and Cooks playing the 4 and the 5. I'd expect Dean Bickman to just see how this chess game goes, and maybe it's not even Marcus Lee. Maybe they match and put Jack White down to the 5 for a little bit.
An opportunity for burgers very early for the kids. No. See, just a combined 9 points, 3 of 12 shooting last weekend for Alex Tui after starting the season so well. Here's Cameron. Speaking of form, he has been red hot. His first points of the night. Could this be a long-term thing, Pete, with Flynn Cameron, or do you think it's just temporary?
Starting lineup?
Yeah.
No, I think it's temporary until Shea Illy gets some game conditioning back. I know he only missed a couple, but they're a better team with Shea in the starting lineup. Make no mistake about that, but I think Flynn Cameron's definitely going to increase his minutes.
Golding his first crack. Shea Illy back from that calf injury. Will come off the bench. Full roster for Melbourne United tonight. Galloway thought about it. Now they'll swing the ball. Tui puts the head down and then goes to Cooks, who's left alone. So he'll take the invite.
Now, Melbourne United actually give up the most 3 points in a game, and that just shows that they really want to pack the paint. So we see Melbourne United packing the paint against the Sydney Kings and daring players like Xavier Cooks to shoot that 3 ball. So it's a great defensive strategy.
Went for the backdoor play against physical attention on Chris Golding from Bullquall. Oh, expect that all night.
Yeah, it was both ways on that one, though, Joey. Bullquall's going to be physical. Chris got a little hold of him as well.
Ron Gorgian this week spoke about the energy. That's what he wants to see from his side. And Tui looking to be aggressive.
And that's that matchup that you spoke about, Pete. You know, we saw Tui just attacking Rob Lowe, just beating him on that foot speed. And it'll be interesting to see if Dean Bickerman really makes that change now.
How can they be aggressive on the defensive end, get some stops? That's what they focused on in training this week. Here's Tui, all over Golding. Puts the head down, gets some separation. Helps himself to a couple.
Often does that with the shot clock winding down, looks up, pretends that he's going to lull you to sleep. They've fallen asleep here again.
And Cooks with a nice finish.
Like that from the Sydney Kings. Taking advantage of poor defensive transition from Melbourne United.
Ron Gorgian barking his side to get up in the face of Melbourne United. As Clark gets it to Lowe, who's patient, takes his time. There's 4 points. Good start to this one. Healthy crowd. Happy Halloween to all those as Tui again gets another 2 and Brian Gorgian wants a timeout.
Oh, he's animated there, Gorge.
Not sure why he's calling the timeout, but he probably saved one of Vickerman for him.
So, confusion on the benches there, saying that Yeah, you correctly called a timeout, Brian Gorgian. Is that correct?
So yeah, they're just double checking who was calling the timeout. It was an odd one. They just scored. It was an incorrectly called timeout.
They'll get back into it. Cameron. Coming off back-to-back 18-point games. Was a career high. And then backed it up against Cairns in that massive win. Last weekend is Clark, who's been shooting the ball beautifully. Low against 4 Kings. Comes up with the offensive rebound.
That's a great defensive possession by the Sydney Kings, but they just let up, and they let up that offensive rebound, and that's really what they've been struggling with. It's just finishing plays and finishing possessions.
Defense from Clark. Forced the Arthur to give it up. And now Tui, who's been aggressive. He likes the matchup on Low. Again goes to work. That was better defense from Rob Lowe.
Started with Jack White, moving his feet to stay in front of Xavier Cooks. Exceptional team defense. They're the best defensive team in the competition. That's why.
Holloway got a hand on that ball. United bench won goal 10.
Still had it.
Yumps will let him play, and then Ian Clark happy to give up the foul.
Oh, here's the chess game we talked about. I didn't think it would be Marcus Lee who comes in. Let's have another look at this. Was there a goaltend in this from Ian Clark? Ball's bouncing off, but it still should have been. Now we get a timeout.
Tangerine timeout called this time by Brian Gorgian. And he did speak to Nerily Meadows pre-game just about whether he's starting to feel the pressure.
A bit of heat, a bit of pressure. How are you doing at the moment?
No, I'm good. I'm good. It's not unexpected if you've been, in the situation that we're in, where you're coming in with a new group, new coaching staff, very tough competition, tough early schedule, and lost close games. So, and as you say, it's amounted to some pressure because of the preseason predictions with the group. But as far as within our group, it's what we're trying to do is stack together good days. And in my mindset right now, really strong about coaching and keeping talking to the staff about that. Just keep doing it and keep coaching hard.
Very pragmatic response there from Brian Gorgian, because he's right, Pete. I mean, really, the pressure's on because of the expectations pre-season. But as we mentioned off the top, if they win this game tonight, them and Melbourne United are both 6 and 4. Yet we're talking about them in very different lights.
Yeah, they're magnified losses regardless, right, because of their talented roster. But they lose to a priceless Perth in Perth, and then lose to a New Zealand team that was missing some key guys as well. But we've already seen some changes. There's a different starting lineup. Now we have Cam Oliver into the game. Jalen Adams checks into the game for the first time, throwing some different looks.
Jalen Adams will check in. There was some talk about his back injury and when we would see him and how many minutes he'll play. He's in early. There's Liafa with a step back. Can't finish. Nerily Meadows, you're listening in to Brian Gorgian.
I can tell you he was very relaxed and affable pre-game, not so in that timeout. You heard him earlier. He's really frustrated with getting that switch right, but also just very vocal, and his face went bright red as that Hungry Jacks logo.
Thank you, Nez. Cole Bowen checks into the game number 50 to him, and Chris Lee, the turnaround, and then Shea Illy just had his arm yanked at.
Yeah, Paul Maybury saw it.
That's it. That's 3 in a row. That's the warning. I don't have the angle. Ball's got it. That's a warning.
Yeah, you see it perfectly on the replay right there. Nico Fernandez just telling Dean Bickman, one, he gave him a warning, but also said he didn't have the angle. Paul Maybury saw it.
There is the behaviour warning for Dean Vickerman. Used it up nice and early. Inside the first 5 minutes.
When they're inevitable, Joey, just get it out of the way.
Yep. There's Golding. Trying to finish with the left hand, and he's trying to get to his feet. It's going to be opportunity 5-on-4 for the Kings. Can't make the most of it. Now they work through their set. Here is Cam Oliver. Left knee heavily strapped. Liafa. Good find for Oliver. And that's a nice way to get him going.
That's just a poor defensive possession by Melbourne United. There was no help off the pick and roll there, and he was able to just get downhill and dish it to a big man wide open there.
It's going to be an offensive foul. Moving screen. Marcus Lee. Shayili takes a tumble. Speaking of Shayili, Nerily, you got a bit of an update for us on what might be happening tonight?
He's on baby watch. That's what we're being told. I joked with him earlier before the game about potentially running off at halftime or midway through the game at any point. He said, absolutely, I would do that. And the Kings' Isaiah Liafa was there at the time, who's been busy early in this game, and he joked back, I hope so. I hope it comes early and Shayili has to leave. Of course, they've got all players available at the moment with 4 games in 10 days, a packed schedule for United.
Hopefully for Melbourne United's sake, he's not called up tonight. He can complete this game. Here he's getting the ball to Golding. He's going to let it fly. Under 4 so far from the 3-point line for Melbourne United. Oliver will try his luck.
Both teams just losing their way in offensive productivity, and it's just resulting in quick shots. I'd like to see the ball move from side to side, get the ball through hands, and get both looks, both teams.
Well, that's what Dellavedova and Illy do, and they find Golding wide open in the corner.
Listen, you have to be on help split line as a team defensive rule, but you also have to understand who you're guarding. If you're guarding Chris Golding in the corner, you've got to take 2 steps closer, and you can't bite on the shot fake.
His first triple of the night, Chris Golding, coming off 40 points last weekend in 41 minutes of game time. As Lee thought he got all ball.
Oh, I think it was close. He's asking for a challenge. Here's the Amy replay. Can't leave your feet, but you've also got to arrive on the catch. You just missed one. Not going to miss 2 in a row. I think we're going to get a challenge here from Dean Vickerman.
There we will. We have a coach's challenge.
These are the hard ones, Joey, where if there's any sort of contact on the hand, they're going to lose the challenge, whereas if it is minimal, we'd like to see it let go in real time.
It's a slightly late whistle.
So the issue is here, now the rules have changed, right? Last year, if you could challenge the specific rule on the floor, which is a hands foul here. Now they look at the whole play as it is happening. If that left hand is deemed to be the foul on the push, I know it's not the specific foul, but this year, this will be an unsuccessful challenge, I believe, if they think that left hand is enough of a foul.
So they can look at it from a couple of different points of view.
This is the angle right here. That right there. There's not a heat in it.
I don't think there's enough in that to call that a foul if you're letting other things go.
Cam Oliver's going out that way anyway.
Hand was hit after the ball was released. Just wait and see on the verdict, still taking their time. The challenge, we believe, will be successful. So a good challenge from Dean Vickerman and Melbourne United. Let's get to Scott Butler to talk us through the call. Scott, welcome.
Hey guys, how you all doing? So when you process the play, you look at the action up high. The ball's gone. Lee's contact is to the hand, but it's actually marginal, doesn't impact the shot. That call will be overturned. We walk the centre circle because the shot's missed, and we'll have a jump ball.
Hey. There, Scott Butler for the explanation.
I like it. I thought both contacts were marginal enough.
Tyler Robertson into the game. Here's Adams. Let's keep an eye on how well he's moving. That's a good find. Robertson, who was knocking them down in the warm-up, sinks his first attempt.
Great find by Jalen Adams, and Chris Goulding just got a little bit lost on the defense. He went to go bump his man, bump the roller, but forgot the Robertson's in the corner there. Knocked down that 3.
Lee, fine for Bowen, who missed a couple of bunnies. And that should remain a Melbourne ball.
Tyler Robertson knocks down that 3 in the corner. Tyler Robertson is a shooting guard. He can play a little bit of a backup point guard. He's been doing that without Jalen Adams, but now he slots back into his more traditional spot of a spot-up knockdown shooter.
I'm telling you, Pete, I was watching him in the warm-up. He knocked down 12 to 15 threes in a row. He did not look like missing. Let's see how he goes tonight with Jalen Adams back in the side. Goulding, speaking of not being able to miss, that one was halfway down. A couple of good looks. Now here's Adams. Good to see him back. Oliver had the size advantage, but it was just thrown a little bit too wide for him. Couldn't keep the ball in. Turnover.
There's a little possession from Shaylee that don't show up on the stat sheet. but doing a little bit of a shepherd on Cam Oliver. That's what Brian Goorjian's unhappy about. Just enough to move underneath him. You hear him in the coach's mic there.
Here he's delivered over. Led the league in assists last season. That's a good find for White, who's been white hot from the three-point line.
Shooting the ball at 41% from three, and we know that he's really added that to his game and something that probably he lacked in that Boomers preparation. So it's great to see him add that to his game as Tyler Robertson misses a tough three down the other end.
White was 4 from 4 from long range against the tight ends. And again, Dellavedova with the lob for Lee, couldn't quite finish. Now playing defense on Adams, who again just gives a little handoff to Oliver. And that's an easy basket for him. He's got 4.
Good decision from Jalen Adams. Cam Oliver's been on the receiving end of a couple of those now. Some overhelp from Melbourne United.
And that's the 4th time that they've run the same play, so they've got to make those adjustments, Pete, in this next possession.
We see the impact of Adams, couple of assists in this one. White just trying to see if that form could continue. And now Oliver, who's already had one crack at it. There is White, trying to get up and get the rebound. Good effort from Portnoy, but Melbourne and Dellavedova, and foul's going to be called against Noy.
I think Sydney's done very well in this opening quarter. Is really attacked before the defense is set from Melbourne United. And I tell you what I'd like to see is when Jalen Galloway gets in the open floor, him being a little more aggressive. That's where he excels. He's one of the best athletes in the competition. Just understanding, and we're going to get a challenge here from Brian Goorjian. Brian Goorjian wants to challenge the wraparound foul. He's gone with the cricket technique of calling for it.
Dean Vickerman was successful earlier. We'll keep an eye on whether Brian Goorjian can do the same. It is a coach's challenge. Take a look at the Amy replay. Again, Peter, it's similar to your previous case. It might not be for the little hand on the ball, but it could be for the contact on the right arm, potentially.
Yeah, as I said the last one, if they deem that to be more than marginal, they might have a think about it. Besides that, he gets a pretty good effort of getting around to the ball. Normally, they're called fouls because you don't like to reward some poor defense at times, but he timed it pretty well, Kuwait Noy. He's probably going to get away with it, and he is. Good challenge there from Brian Goorjian. I still want to see a shot clock on coaches' challenges.
Both coaches seeing it well at the moment. You as well, Pete. 2 from 2.
Feedback from the replay centre is Melbourne have possession. They keep the ball.
What? Hold it. I won it. Why would I?
I've told you what the answer is. There's no more to do here.
Well, we just got to listen, Pete. Talk us through what the coach was talking to Brian Goorjian about, which is...
Well, Brian Goorjian's saying that one of the challenges should be their ball, but...
We won that.
There's no foul. Let Melbourne keep possession.
So because the foul is taken away, the ball was in the possession of Melbourne United, which means they'll get it back. It's not a jump ball unless the ball was up for grabs. That's the call coming from the replay centre. That's what's in the rules of a coach's challenge, which frustrates Gorge because he did the right thing in challenging and winning it, and they don't get the ball. And if this goes in...
That's going to hurt. They thought it was going to be a jump ball. Instead, it cost them 3 points. And Dellavedova gets his first bucket of the night.
Great ball movement by Melbourne United, and credit to Tanner Krebs, who's able to draw the defense and find Matthew Dellavedova to nail that three.
Hooks with a turnover. An opportunity here on the fast break for Clark. Can't finish, but there's Whites. Crashing the offensive glass and the putback.
Hasn't he been impressive on the board? You know, he had that 19 and 13 rebounding effort in round 6, and we've seen him elevate his game. He's added that shooting to his game, and we're just seeing him going from strength to strength every single week here.
Averaging 11 points, 14 points and 11 boards, I should say. As Galloway responds at the other end.
Strokes look good so far this season, Jalen Galloway, and I like that we're getting more first quarter minutes. Hopefully this means that he's going to be a solid spot in this rotation going forward.
Dellavedova control of the ball. Final possession of this opening quarter. Big crowd, John Cain Arena. Between two of the big sides, Dellavedova couldn't finish. Oliver, good rebound. And the Hail Mary from Adams will see us out. An entertaining first quarter of basketball, and it was Jack White that brought the crowd to their feet towards the end of this opening turn. Strong play, Jack White, and at quarter time, it's Melbourne United leading the Sydney Kings 21-20. All eyes were on the Sydney Kings to see how they would bounce back after back-to-back losses in round 6, and an entertaining first quarter of basketball here at John Cain Arena. It sees Melbourne United with just a 1-point lead going into the second quarter. Alice Kunik, Pete Hooley, what'd you make of the first quarter?
Big issue right now for the Sydney Kings, 5 O-boards. 5 offensive rebounds for Melbourne United in the opening 10 minutes. They gave up 27 to Perth last Friday, and they ended up losing that game. They've got to control the glass.
Here's Liafa. He said it, those 23 points against New Zealand. Now they go to Cooks. Can't get that to fall. 2 points so far. Galloway already knocked down one triple. Can't quite get the friendly bounce. Good hustle from Xavier Cooks. Keep possession.
Talking about hustle, the Sydney Kings actually lead the league in offensive rebounding, but United actually lead the league in defensive rebounding. So this is a great matchup between these two teams here tonight.
Let's get back to Nerily Meadows. You're listening into Brian Goorjian.
Yeah, listening into Brian Goorjian at quarter time there, and Vickerman a little frustrated by that shot. But it's interesting, and I want to get the thoughts of you guys, but there seems to be a little bit of confusion, and particularly that messaging over when to switch, when not to switch, getting that right, and he keeps on honing in on that. What does that tell you, Pete Hooley, when a coach is not getting that message and the players are asking question after question of when to, when not to?
I think what it now is it's a different rotation than we've seen once again. So that's where the confusion lies from the players' point of view. Where you're talking about switching, maybe it's been different in the first 6 rounds, and I've got playing with Jalen Galloway. I haven't played with Jalen Galloway much this year, so everyone's looking at each other thinking, where exactly do you want that answer?
Shot clock down, down to 3. 2, Galloway's gonna have to let it fly. Long on that one.
Look, I think a lot of that is communication. You know, you've got the players on the floor and Gorge is on the sideline. He can't do much from the sideline but yell, but that's where the players really need to communicate and get themselves out of that trouble there.
So far it's been good defense this possession by the Kings, although Liafa has to guard low, so they need to double, and Galloway, they get the turnover. And now Cooks will lead the fast break. He can hand it off to Tui, but well read by White. And he tried to throw it off the legs. And in fact, threw it straight to Xavier Cooks, who said, thank you very much.
And that's where we see Sydney Kings at their best, when they're getting defensive stops, just exactly like Gorge and drills, and they're out in transition and running the floor.
Seeing the lead continue to change hands. Clark, who's been shooting the ball so well. He just waited for that one. It's going to be a cross-court violation, backcourt.
Left weight on the backcourt.
Bit of a delayed call, but Fernandez was explaining it there. We talk about rotations. This is a key thing to take out right now and watch. Kelly Lepepe has not hit the floor. He was their starting centre so far this season, and they've changed things around right now. They're trying to get some different looks. They're playing small ball with that starting unit with Xavier Cooks and Alex Tui, and he's yet to hit the floor.
What do you make of that? I mean, you called for less rotation. You wanted 8 or 9
well, they
in the
played
rotation.
9 right now. There's no Sean Bruce either.
Cooks crashing the offensive boards again. That's what he does so well. And he's starting to get rolling. He's got 6.
It's going to be a mismatch if he's playing the centre position. And that's why Rob Lowe's going to come out of this game. Marcus Lee coming back in. Still be a bit of a mismatch there, but he's a bit more agile as a big man.
Dellavedova using the backboard.
That's just where United have got to be disciplined, though. You don't out-rebound Xavier Cooks. He can jump out of the stadium. That's where you've got to turn, find and get a body on him, and get him out of the rebound. And get someone else, get a guard to just really sweep that ball up.
That was great defense from Clark, and he might do it at both ends.
Tell you what, it doesn't look like Jalen Adams is confident in his back right now. We know he's missed a little bit of time with that back injury, but everything's a little passive. That was a better play.
And another late whistle. Melbourne United can't believe it.
Looked like the right call though, Joey. No, it was late, but it looked like there was a little bit of contact down low on the body.
It's on Rob Lowe. That's going to be his 3rd foul.
Didn't look like anything in that angle, but from where we were sitting.
Now, going back to what you were talking about, Pete, with Jalen Adams, you know, we did hear that he wasn't going to come back into the rotation for a couple of weeks. He's playing tonight. We've seen him playing minutes. He hasn't really been aggressive at the rim, but he's been finding his teammates and he's getting other people involved. And I think that's what the Kings really lacked in those couple of games. They just lacked someone to really steady the ship, as we see Xavier Cooks knock down that free throw. But I think his injection into this game is exactly what the Sydney Kings need.
You heard Brian Gorge in the press conference say that his last loss, they don't think he's going to have Jalen Adams have a big impact on the group going forward. And that didn't mean that he was going to miss a lot of time. It just meant that he's not going to be to his MVP caliber self until he gets rid of that back injury and gets a bit more game fitness under his belt. And that's what we're seeing here tonight. He is setting up guys, like you said. Alice has got 3 assists. He's still just not the usual Jalen Adams where he's getting downhill and making plays.
Almost feels they've made the decision, and 80% fit Jalen Adams is still better than not being out there at all. And we've seen the impact that he's had already in this game. He might not be scoring, but he's certainly playing facilitator. Here's Clark. He's knocked down the last 3 ball. Now White. That's going to be a hands foul.
Oh, silly. He knows Isaiah Liafa just didn't have to do it. Shot clock winding down. Jack White just put the ball on the floor. Just play it straight up.
He wasn't guarding a Chris Goulding out there. You know, Jack White is a great 3-point shooter and is improving, but that's when he's just got to be a bit more disciplined in that possession.
Even if it was Chris Goulding, though, there's no need to put your hand in there. Just stay straight up.
Of course, make sure you get the latest breaking news direct to your device. Check out live scores, track your favourite players, Super Coach, all on the NBL app for free. Just grab it on the App Store or Google Play now. Jack White misses the free throw.
Some struggles at the line this year, Jack White, as well as he's shooting the 3-ball.
Field goal percentage almost 50%. He's shooting the 3-ball at 40%, but only about 60% from the free throw line.
Just both long.
He stays on 6, which is equal with Rob Lowe, the most for Melbourne United. Xavier Cooks leading everyone with 8. They start to attack the offensive boards, the Kings. They couldn't take possession. Now White shows off his handles, puts the head down, couldn't finish. Lee did enough, and then Illy misses the bunny, And now White, he won't miss this time.
That's 3 offensive rebounds that Sydney Kings have just given up. And that's really, you know, they've got 7 offensive rebounds in the game. And with the game so close, that's when you can't be giving up those offensive rebounds. You've got to stay disciplined.
I would have thought about calling a timeout there if I was Gorge. Just got guys standing around watching.
It's 8 offensive rebounds now for Melbourne United, leading that count 18-12. They do lose the rebound count, Melbourne United. They do lose the game. They've lost their last 6 games. They've lost the rebound count. Take a look at the Amy replay. Alice, exactly what you was talking about.
Yeah, and that's just effort from Melbourne United. Okay, they missed the shots, but that's just a total effort from Jack White, staying in the possession and getting those extra points for his team. He knows the importance of this game. He knows getting that win at home is just so important. And that's when they've got to be better, the Sydney Kings.
Clark pulls it out, and that is why. He has been dynamite from long range.
No timeout after the lack of effort on the defensive glass. Oh, that's... just look a little lost right now, the Kings.
And now trail by 6 after exchanging leads. And again, Adams with a little handoff to Oliver.
That's what he is doing very well. Coming off that high on ball and making some smart decisions.
Now, it seems that Melbourne United are just honestly staying with their mans and just letting them win that 2-man game. And that just seems like they're just keeping that as Bowen goes up for that 3 and nails that 3. But it just seems like Melbourne United are risking that just to get that 2-man game without getting other people involved. And they're trying to see how long Jalen Adams can go in this game for.
They start to get that free ball to fall now, United. That's now 6 for the game. And now Bowen swats that one away from Adams.
And even that, it's not the explosiveness we see from Jalen Adams. He's not having a dance with it, seeing the mismatch, trying to get around. Just made one little move right there, just a little left, in and out. Didn't get past Kyle Bowen at all.
I saw the whole thing happen.
They need to find some offense now. They trail by 7. It's a game high. Lead to Melbourne. Robertson. They go to Oliver. He's got that in him. That's a nice finish. And he looks across at some guys just giving a bit of trash talk. Court side. Not sure if that's a good idea. And Cameron Oliver's up to 8. Zilli thought he was fouled and the whistle was blown. That's Jalen Adams. His second foul.
He's going to go to the free throw line here. He was looking to pass that, I think, Shaylee. It just slipped out and ended up hitting the backboard, so he might get a little lucky here.
Shaylee, before that calf injury, was having a career best year. Career highs in points, assists, rebounds, and 3-point percentage. Said having baby number 3 due any time now. Along with his 2 daughters, so we wish him well. He knocks down the first.
Could be any minute. Joey signing for the Illy family. That's not like he's got an Apple Watch on that wrist, by the way. I've been told on good authority he has a Garmin Watch tan that he's covering up.
Just doing some sponsorship there, are you, Pete?
And Cooks is going to turn that ball over, and he couldn't find Adams.
There it is. There's no watch there just in case he gets a notification the baby's coming, or there's no wrist injury. He's just got a very unpleasant tan from a watch.
Wants to cover it up.
Apparently. It's okay. It was Hook Porty last year who used to tape his thumbs because he played video games too much.
These are the insights you get with Peter Hooley. He gets to know these players as well as anybody, but that's what Illy can do. Gets to the basket, helps himself to 2. The Tangerine timeout. It's a game high 8-point lead to Melbourne United.
And the Sydney Kings just look a little bit out of sorts on the offensive end and even on the defensive end. Now, you see Xavier Cook speaking to Jalen Galloway on the bench there. They just seem like they just can't get together on the same page. And I'm sure that Brian Gorge will be giving them a big spiel at this timeout.
We'll take a look at the Reebok influencer seats. There's some familiar faces. Fifi, Fev and Nick from Fox FM, and they're here for a special pause tonight. They're here for the Underdogs, which are a team of kids who've either been excluded or left out or bullying in their basketball teams or at school. And they've brought them together for a very special moment where they will take the court And they are dedicated to overcoming challenges. They'll have a special moment at halftime. They'll get to run out. They've already met the players. It's a wonderful cause. And we'll chat to Fev during the third quarter to see how it all went. But a great opportunity for some young kids that have been doing it tough.
It's awesome. It's an emotional night, and you can hear in the pre-game as well. But even when they're talking in the quarter-time break, we got to hear it, the emotion from those three especially, who are putting it all together. But you see the smiles on the kids' faces, a chance to rub shoulders with some of the best basketballers going around, and then they get their own opportunity as well. It's a fantastic initiative. It's awesome to see.
Yeah, full credit to Fifi, Fev and Nick and putting together this for these kids, and just to see, like you said, Pete, the smile on these kids' faces, and you just don't know how important it is for these kids and what it really uplifts them and brings them, you know, just so much joy into their lives. So absolutely incredible thing tonight here.
Let's get back to Nerily Meadows. You're listening into Brian Goorjian.
We've seen frustration, Joey, confusion, and now we've seen Brian Goorjian calling for calm. He said to his troops, these minutes are really important to stay in the game. We need to gel and stay together to finish this half.
They're just starting to slip away from them late in the half, so they need to finish strong. They don't want to blow out the double digits. Liafa's pass was a bit too sharp for Cooks, but a deflection off Lee. We'll see the Kings retain possession.
Yeah, well, keep an eye on this last 3.5 minutes, because it just looked like after that block on Kyle Bowen on Jalen Adams, it looked like United made an emphasis to go at him on the other end, knowing he's not 100%, and will he be willing to defend?
Shot clock's down to 4. 2. He needs to get to his move. He did, couldn't quite finish.
It's not a mismatch against Flynn Cameron.
That was a tough basket to make.
Illy will settle it down. United will run through their set. And off to Golding. He just lets it fly. He's a bit strong on that. He's 1 of 4 now. The three-point line, here's Adams. And he's looking to dish off at every opportunity. So he wants him to come.
And we've got a mismatch down low with Oliver and Shea Illy, and that's when they've really got to recognise that mismatch and get the ball inside. He's still got that mismatch.
They do want to get it to Oliver. It's great defence from United. So Oliver's forced to let a long three-point attempt go. Another miss, and then Cameron puts the head down and draws the foul.
You're spot on, Alice, but I tell you what, everybody in the country saw that mismatch, so the Melbourne United were just expecting it, and you could see Isaiah Liafa was just telegraphed, trying to get the ball. And again, credit Shea Illy. There's no mismatch there as well. Shea Illy just pushed him out. He nearly caught it at the three-point line, but Flynn Cameron, you talk about playing with confidence, just regathered himself. It wasn't a heap in there, but Isaiah Liafa didn't complain about it.
24-year-old getting the extended run at it. Always had the talent. Getting some opportunity with some injuries. These more established guards.
Incredible story, and you think about how hard he would make the likes of Delly, Ian Clark, Shea Illy work at practice. Because right now, when it comes down to their best starting 5 and the way to finish a game, he wouldn't be in it because of what Jelly's done in his career, especially in the last couple of seasons, what CG's done, what Shea Illy's done. So he's making them earn their starting spot right now.
Certainly making the most of his minutes. Here's Delvedova. Oliver. Good find. 2, he needs to knock this down, and he does. Good ball movement. And then they force the turnover. And they're away and running, and then Adams is going to score. And very, very quickly, Dean Vickerman didn't like that. Calls a tangerine. Timeout as the Kings get it back to 5.
And we know how quickly the Sydney Kings can put points on the board, and they have nearly 8 players that have had 15-point-plus games this season. So we know that they're just a one play phase away from really turning a game around. And just having the likes of Jalen Adams into this lineup secures it, steadies the ship a little bit for this Sydney Kings team, but now they've got to get stops on the other end as well.
Well, credit Cam Oliver for the way that he was active in those last 2 possessions. Been a lot of talk about him all week, but those defensive hands and deflections, that'll slowly get you into the circle of trust from Brian Goorjian. Good timeout here, I think, from Dean Vickerman as well.
And Cameron Oliver, 8 points, 5 rebounds. Of course, the first 5 games of the season, he was averaging almost 15.5 points. That had dropped to just 10 points a game in his last 4. Brian Goorjian spoke to Nerily Meadows and said he was frustrated with his own form, and that might have been contributing to some of the body language, but he's having an impact here. And I've seen Jalen Adams already, Pete, what he can do. Just the 2 points, his first bucket, but 4 assists and a couple of rebounds, and he's made a difference.
Yeah, as you said, they've definitely made the call to, if he's 80% ready to go, let's throw him out there. Because he's still going to make plays, he's still going to demand attention on the other end. And even just watching him a little bit, he's grimacing at times. He's clearly still trying to play through that back injury.
Just see him live, don't we? He just doesn't look completely right, doesn't look overly comfortable, but...
Well, he hasn't, besides getting a pick and roll, he hasn't beat anybody off the dribble. And that's where he's exceptional. Normally, Jalen Adams, if it's a one-on-one situation, he's blowing by anybody in the league.
Even running now, you know, he just doesn't have that bounce in him. And we know that, you know, players, if you have a back injury, that it can really just affect just the way you move and your spring in the game.
They provide the energy on defence, the Kings. Close the margin before the half. Tui on Clark.
Great defence.
They turn the defence into offence. Cooks just puts the head down, finds Oliver. Ball movement. Adams. Just short.
Great rotations defensively from Melbourne United. But again, Jack White, to take that bump, he's calling for a push-off and then recover. Just an exceptional athlete, especially on the defensive end.
Adams again. Missed the last and knocks down that triple. So now he's starting to get the points. He's got 5 to go with his 4 assists. Valuable minutes for their superstar. And they get it back to 2. Golding, baseline. Takes his time, draws a foul.
And we know it wouldn't take long for Jalen Adams to get himself really in that game, and it was a great possession there, and he's just got to keep shooting the ball with confidence. And just, he's missed a lot of basketball in the last couple of weeks, so it's just going to take him some time to get back, and even if he's not at full capacity, it's just going to give him a little bit of time, but unlucky to get that foul on the other end.
People forget, you miss a couple of games, and whether it's a week and a half or 2 weeks in the middle of a season, it's more magnified when you're playing 1 or 2 games each round. You've been travelling and then just trying to fit back in to the game fitness and getting your shot right. Hard to do when you don't have too much time to do it.
He makes both. He's got 7 points, 2 of 7 shooting. Liafa gives up the ball, and now Cooks does the same thing. This is good ball movement. And Liafa, who was striking them beautifully last week, knocks down the triple, and they're back within 1.
Great ball movement by the Sydney Kings. They moved it from side to side. They draw the defense, and Liafa was able to continue with great shooting form.
Inside the final 50 seconds. Golding. White wants to give it back. Shot clock down to 4. Golding. Try to draw the foul again. He does. Good block. Xavier Cooks. Again, late shot clock beat. Golding puts the head down.
And you're so worried about when the shot clock's winding down, and he likes to just lull you to sleep. He looks like he's not paying attention. He normally ends up in a step back, and that's why you try and crawl in like they did there. And credit to him for putting the ball on the floor and trying to make a play at the rim.
Again this season, averaging almost the 16 points, but playing the lowest amount of minutes he's played since 2012 here at the Gold Coast Blaze. He needed a few of them, just managing his minutes early in the season.
I think, again, it speaks to the emergence of Flynn Cameron as well when they're at full strength. Dean Bickman's sitting there thinking, I have to find minutes for Flynn Cameron somewhere. So rather than just one player scaling back, he just scales everyone back ever so slightly.
Golding now the leading scorer in the game with 9 points. No one's in double digits. Oliver hands it off to Cooks, who tried to throw that down. That would have been some sort of play late in the half. And now again, like the first quarter, final possession will go the way of United. Lee comes to set the pick. Golding, great defense from Liafa, although it goes back. Golding tries to draw the foul. There's no whistle.
Well, Xavier Cooks had a look at it as well. I think they missed one there. Xavier Cooks had a smile.
He touched his elbow.
I don't think he touched
You don't think he touched his elbow?
No, I did not.
And straight up, Golding can't believe it.
Well, Xavier Cook's had a bit of a smile. Let's have
I
a look.
think Xavier Cooks can't believe it
This
either.
angle will be a little tough. Oh, boy.
We have seen them paid in the past, but not on this occasion. And they've probably got away with one, Pete.
Well, he leant forward ever so slightly, but wasn't much in it. It was definitely contact.
Well, let's get down courtside. Nerily Meadows has Jack White.
We've got Jack White alongside me, up by as many as 10. They're right back in it. What do you need to rectify?
We need to take them off the three-point line. That was the target for us before the game. Take care of some old boards, some easy ones, but plenty of stuff to work on, but, fortunate to be with the lead.
You seem a little bit frustrated there, fired up earlier. Are you particularly fired up for this one?
Every game's a big game for us. We've got to show up, we've got to defend our home court. These guys are going to be desperate. They've lost 2. They're trying to make a statement here, so we're just trying to be on top of our stuff.
Appreciate your time.
Cheers.
Jack White with his game face on there, and we are getting the game that we all hope for at half-time here to kick off round 7 of the Hungry Jacks NBL. Melbourne United leading the Kings by 3 points.
Thursday night hoops in the Hungry Jacks NBL. We can see behind the scenes wonderful access here. Melbourne United having some tough conversations. Yes, they're up by 3 points against the Sydney Kings, but they led by as many as 10 points. So Dean Vickerman will be hoping to get them well and truly back on track. Alice Pudig as well as Pete Hooley alongside me. What did you make of that first half, Pete?
It was highly competitive. I like the way that both teams responded. When Sydney went on a run, Melbourne United called a timeout, but Sydney showed us in the first half glimpses of how good they can be. It was the ball movement, it was the activity on the defensive end. That's what they want to see more of, especially Brian Good.
Hungry Jacks highlights Jack White. We spoke about him before before the game that maybe he would be a little bit more motivated after missing out on the Boomers up against Brian Gorgon. Alice, you liked what you saw with Jack.
I loved what I saw from Jack White. 3 of 5 from the field, 4 rebounds, +3 in the efficiency, but he was on the grass. I love his effort on the offensive rebounding end, but also on the defensive end. He was challenging shots. He wasn't necessarily always getting the rebound, but he was there for his teammates. He was staying in possessions, and we love the energy that he's playing with Neroli.
I like to look at players' impact on games differently. This is his Blackmore shot chart. You look at the 8 points, all the green dots. He's shooting the 3-ball more confidently, but in the defensive end, his ability to take multiple hits, recover, and still impact, that's why I think he's one of the best players in the competition.
4 rebounds and getting on those offensive boards as well. So those second chance points, which he cleaned up a couple of as well. So he likes his own work. Cam Oliver, 8 points for Sydney Kings. A lot of chat about him before this game, Halls. How did you see his first half?
I thought he was terrific, and again, he wasn't trying to force anything, which is probably the first big win. But when you're in the headlines, when you respond on Instagram, everybody's thinking he's going to come out and try and have 30. He was very patient, but again, his activity defensively, getting deflections, as I said on the call, that's going to get him in the circle of trust for Gorge, and that's going to have him playing 4 quarters.
Body language was the topic heading into this one with Derek Rucker. What did you make of his body language out there, Alice?
Look, I thought he's really responded well, just exactly like you said, Hools. You know, Derek Rucker took it, hit him, he's responded. He responded on Instagram as well. But we like to see the way he's playing. He's playing his role. He's playing great defense. You know, he's really active there, just like you said. But he's playing for his team. He knows what this means to his team. And I like the response that he's given out there tonight.
It is all on the line, 3 points down, and tomorrow night we have a huge one, a doubleheader. Tassie, the champions, up against Southeast Melbourne Phoenix as the King era begins for Phoenix. Can they get their season back on track? And then the Wildcats in action up against Illawarra. Plenty to look forward to, Halls, tomorrow night.
Looking forward to that. I mean, again, how do the Phoenix go under Josh King? Some video coming out of practice. He is energetic. I met with him on overtime. I think he's going to be terrific. And then can Perth continue to roll without Bryce? We'll find out.
46-43 here in John Cain Arena. Don't go anywhere. We've got plenty more action. And as we head to the break, how about this? The underdogs are on call. Wonderful to see. Great to see all these kids getting in amongst and around the action and all the support from the fans as well. The underdogs. We love them, don't we?
Do you have a 1 rep max at all, or is that just what would it be?
180 kg for one.
I haven't seen anybody like Kelly. Last I asked him, the first day I asked him, I said, what made you want to be this huge?
Nobody guard this big guy. He's just too big and strong.
He is an offensive rebounding beast.
Growing up, I don't know, I was a bit of a big boy and tough boy, and I don't take no shit or nothing like that.
Lepepe keeps it alive. Kelly underneath is just too strong.
I really feel like people are stronger than me, to be honest, because they're not. Like, to be honest, like, it's just fun. I don't know, just the toughness of the game. Like, I like the old, like the 90s and stuff. You can get away with a couple of elbows and stuff like that, but it's just fun, you know. Yeah, being able to throw around your weight and yeah, make sure your bigs are screaming out that I'm coming to set the screen because I'm going to clean your guard up. That's for sure.
It's great to have him, man, because we need that sort of a brute. It's kind of like a barbarian to me or something, man.
He has the mantle as the biggest unit in the NBL and also the best mullet in the NBL. Pete Hawley, I was looking forward to seeing him going up and crashing some boards against Jack White, but it has been a story out of this first half. Kelly Lepepe had been starting every single game for the Sydney Kings so far this year, but not in the rotation in the first half. Has not played 1 second on the floor. What have you made of it?
I think it's just Brian Goorjian trying to try some different things. They lost 2 games they probably shouldn't have last round, so let's try and see what works. Let's get Cam Oliver going, and I think he's going to have a big say in the rest of the season, whether that's on the floor during games. It definitely will be in practice. You know he's going to be playing hard, but you know you have trust in him if you need him to be out there.
Just quickly, did you ever go up the 180 kilos?
That was the first time I've been in the gym since I retired. I swear.
That was unbelievable.
Are you joking?
No, that's the first time I've been in a gym and I was doing an interview.
What have you made of it, Alice? How do you think this second half's going to play out?
Look, it's a huge game for both teams here tonight. We know Sydney Kings have lost those couple on the back-to-back last weekend, and we know the importance of Melbourne United winning at home. But this is where both teams are really, and like we spoke about Brian Goorjian, he's gone to the people that he's trust. He's trying to find a call. He's shortened the rotations. No Kelly Lepepe, no Sean Bruce so far into this game. So we know he's tightening the rotations and he's trying to find consistency with his team. He knows the moment that he's got right here. He's got to get this team back to winning form.
Well, they're certainly in a position here, the Sydney Kings, to cause an upset. In fact, they've won their last 6 games when they came in to a contest as the underdog. They came in tonight as the heavy underdog, and they're only trailing by 3 points. They have a good record at John Cain Arena. They've won 5 of their last 6 games here. And as I said off the top, Melbourne United, they've won their last 10 Thursday night games. Sets up for a cracking second half here in the Hungry Jacks NBL. It's United with first possession, and they lead by 3. They almost had the set play from the timeout for the backdoor alley-oop for White. Cooks was onto it, so they go to Clark. Little shimmy and shake, and then the air ball. Goorjian's gone with Cooks, Oliver, Tui, Liafa and Vulquol. Different mix to what he started the game with.
Mixing it up a bit. I don't mind that because, again, he's still playing out of really 8.5 guys now. Tyler Robertson's only played 6 minutes, but really has shortened the rotation here.
Here's Shea Ellie. And then Tui gets the strip. And in transition, he should be able to finish. Well done to the youngster. Now Clark looking for Lee, but already again by the Kings. They've started well, active on defence.
They are really active, and we know a Brian Goorjian team is going to be really active on defence. They actually lead the league in steals, so that comes out of their defensive rotations. They're always moving, they're always active, and we know that Brian Goorjian is going to rule that with his team day in and day out.
Already got 3 steals in the first half. All the numbers are very similar. Both teams shooting the same percentage from the 3-point line in field goals.
The numbers
second violation.
The numbers are really similar, but what's really evident to me is the assists. We've got Sydney Kings with 12 assists and Melbourne United at 6, and both teams average actually pretty much the same amount of assists per game, 17.5 and 17.4. So credit to the Sydney Kings of continually moving the ball and getting others involved.
Score here, I think there'll be a timeout. They've come out more locked in than Melbourne.
Ball movement has been a feature of the first half. Cooks thought he was fouled. Some heavy contact down low. And now they've got the 3-on-2 break. Clark shooting the lights out.
Defense leading to offense. Probably got away with one, but in the end, they just pushed the pace, and that's what Shaylee does. Pushes the pace at every opportunity. Another turnover coming here from the Sydney Kings.
Just their 5th turnover of the game.
And that's the importance of Shea Illy in this team. He knows where his shooters are. He's an incredible point guard, and he steadies the ship for this team. He knew where Ian Clark was the minute that he got that ball, and he was looking up for him to nail that three.
Also Ian Clark, the numbers shooting at 50% from the field, 40% from three-point line, and still 100% from the free throw line.
Veteran move there from Shea Illy. Knew Chris Golding wasn't in the right position and just dropped the ball.
Now he goes to work. Kept it alive. He thought he was fouled. Now Oliver in transition. Liafa feigned the pass to Qual. Goes himself. Good option. He has 6.
Both teams shooting the three ball really well at 41%, so we know that both teams like to get up a lot of threes, and they're shooting at a great percentage.
Melbourne already have 7. Shot at least 10, or made at least 10 three-pointers in each of their last 6 games. Shot clock's down to 2. Golding's going to have to get this up. He won't get it up in time. And a shot clock violation. Good hustle again from the Kings on the defensive end.
Been active. It's been really active. Here's the Amy replay. Azalea after a little pass fake to the corner. Had ball Qual ready to go. Didn't need him. Knocked it down as the subs come in for United.
And we spoke about that activity at the halftime speech is Cam Oliver. He's so active in the defense for his team. And obviously what Derek Rucker said has really got under his skin. He's active, he's got great body language for his team, and he's really trying to turn this around for the Sydney Kings unit.
Here's Cooks. We see that move so often. He's so good at it. And he's the first player, or the second, in fact, in the double digits. He's got 10, along with Alex Tui.
And once again, Sydney Kings attacking Rob Lowe on the defensive end. They know they don't have he doesn't have the foot speed to match with these quicker bigs. So full credit to the Sydney Kings offense there.
Kings now lead for the first time since early in that second quarter. Early rejected from Alex Tui.
Here comes Delhi into the game and try and get a bit more of an offensive spark. So come in for Shea Illy. This is what Alex Tui can do. He can guard 1 through 5. He's got the length, got the agility. Been very good defensively here in the first 3 minutes.
He's bounced back well, the 20-year-old, his second season, Tui. Struggled last weekend in those back-to-back losses. Now Cooks will look to push the tempo. Qual has Oliver, who throws it down! And Dean Vickerman says that's enough. I want a timeout to talk things over. And the body language looks much, much better in the Kings camp right now.
It does, and we see Bull Qual with his eyes up and Oliver nail that jam, but it came off the defensive end. They played great defense. Goulding tried to make a tough shot. Great defense, he wasn't fouling. They picked it up off the rim and they were out in transition straight away.
Well, let's go into the camp and take a listen to Brian Goorjian speaking to his troops.
Nate, did you hear what he said? The dribble handoff, you want to go to Goulding's side to start it. When we come back to the top, we want to play middle pick and roll here. All right? Make sure you're in floor spots. Hey, how are we winning this? Goddamn defense, man. You're working. You're working. Play that D. Great shows and rotating back. Stay strong, man. Here we go.
There it is. And again, you saw him right there point to someone and say, great shows and rotating back. That's the Cam Oliver. He's looking Cam Oliver directly one-on-one saying, you're doing everything I'm asking. That's what you want to see. That's the response after everything that's gone on this week. That's why they got a 3-point lead.
Defense. That's what he's saying. He's going to win it for his team. And then they're getting easy buckets on the offensive end. They've come out sharp in this third quarter. 3 scorers now with 10 points for the Kings. They go back door. Goulding, good play. Nice feed from Bowen.
They do that really well. They overload the one side, knowing that Bull Qual's going to top lock, not let him use the screen. Easy backdoor layup.
Goulding now has 11, game high. Now it's United playing some good defense. Tui, contested 3.
Great response from Melbourne United out of that timeout. They really upped their defense intensity, getting good looks on offense.
Now Lowe tries to back into Oliver. He's just too strong. Cam Oliver.
Vickerman is yelling to pass that ball.
Now Daly, barking instructions. Backs down Adams and then finds Lowe. He said struggling with the 3 ball. Couldn't get that to drop. Here's Adams back into the game. Played some important minutes in that first half. You know he's not 100% right, but Cam Oliver's certainly starting to feel it. He's now got 12 points to go with his 9 boards. And then Daly is able to blow by Adams, gets the points and a chance for a 3-point play.
Good balance from Daly. Know where he was, where he threw that up. Jalen Adams again. Saw this in the first half. Unfortunately, Isaiah Alpha went down. We saw it make it known on the other end. Okay, Jalen Adams, if you're not 100%, are you willing to shuffle your feet and play defense? Jelly just put his head down and blew past.
Ready, guys? 1 minus.
Came off the bench for the 2nd consecutive game, Matthew Delvedova. Shooting at a career high 48% from the field this season. He's been efficient. Again, shooting at a good clip, 8 points at 75%. A couple of assists. Now he's locked on to Jalen Adams. Scores all tied up here. Thursday night hoops from John Cain Arena. Galloway, who started tonight. Leaves that one short, but again, Cooks on the offensive glass. And again, the hustle forced another opportunity for Tui, who again can't make them pay. But Xavier Cooks is getting to work.
It's the hustle. A taste of the own medicine to Melbourne United. Xavier Cooks 12 and 4 now, and he just wanted that board more.
1-0, got a hold.
Full qual, just his 2nd foul so far, getting himself out of foul trouble. So he had a couple of good looks at it.
Full credit to Xavier Cooks on that possession. He was active, he was up and about in that offensive rebound. He kept it alive for his team. And that's exactly what the Sydney Kings need in this lineup. But the Melbourne United team, they've got to keep him off the glass.
He's done it over now. Who gets the friendly bounce? Wasn't pretty, but it'll work. United retake the lead. Qual put the head down, got to the left, couldn't finish. And now White. Delvedova finds Krebs, who thought about it, instead decides to drive, and the ball knocked away. Kings make a sub. Tyler Robertson will check in. Paul Qual will have a seat. Both these teams will back up and play again in a few days.
That's a shooter's roll if I've ever seen one. Right there, it's a lucky roll.
Pancake.
Took the air out of the ball.
Daly went straight at Cooks, couldn't finish the play. The Kings starting to even up the rebound count. Galloway wasn't able to get that one to go.
Great defense there, one-on-one, but again, the energy of that man, Xavier Cooks, he's lifting here in the 3rd quarter. Chasing down every single rebound.
There's Cameron. Lost his footing. Enough composure to get it to White. Who now sees Robertson. Wants to go to work, and that's a great find for Kyle Bowen, who was strong with the finish.
Exceptional mover without the ball, Kyle Bowen. He sees opportunities present themselves before they happen. He saw Jack White was going nowhere. So Jack White ran into Flynn Cameron. Have a look at this. It was well guarded by Tyler Robertson. Kept him out. Xavier Cooks turned his head. Kyle Bowen's gone.
24-year-old. 2nd season at Melbourne United. 50th game tonight. And he completes the 3-point play. Back out by 4. They trailed by 3 a few minutes ago. Melbourne United. It's been a good response after that timeout from Dean Vickerman. Robertson. Oliver. Swatted away from Jack White.
And that's what we spoke about Jack White, how active he is. It's not just his rebounding, it's the way he's changing shots and changing possessions for the Melbourne United.
Foul. And Bowen going for the glass against Xavier Cooks.
Look at this, this is just raw athleticism. Jack White, no gather, just straight vert. Best two-way players in the league.
27 years of age. Jack White, you think opportunity to get back to the NBA for Jack White?
Got to continue to work on the three ball. We've seen, I mean, Joe Ingles was, I think, 27 and a half when he got his first opportunity and then ended up spending the rest of his career there.
Bowen gave up the opportunity for the three-point shot. Tried to go down low, but good hands again from Galloway. Defense from the Kings has been good. Robertson, an open lane. Cooks again with the hustle. Great heads-up play from Xavier Cooks, who's lifting his side of this quarter.
Amazing intensity off the offensive glass for Xavier Cooks, but that's when United's really got to get him off the glass, block him out. Don't let him just get vertical.
Ball. Lee will sub in for Bowen.
It's been phenomenal. Xavier Cooks, there's Jack White on the other end. We spoke about it. These are two guys who are going to be competing for a power forward spot for the Boomers in the future. World Cups, Olympics, going at it here head to head.
Mandarine timeout is called. Xavier Cooks 3 offensive rebounds in this quarter. And we'll go to Nerily Meadows, who has a familiar face with her in the crowd.
I've got a superstar, Brendan Favola, who has been in amongst the underdogs tonight. Tell us more about the underdogs.
Oh, it's been amazing. We just came out from down in the sheds and one of the mums gave a speech and said that she's never seen her son Sam light up the way he did on the basketball court tonight. And all the other mums and dads were saying the same thing. And I was out there with little Elijah. I don't know if you saw little Elijah, but he's having a kidney transplant in 2 weeks. He's already had an attempt at one, and he's unable to play sport. And to see him out there shoot 2 hoops in a row, and he ran down the court like he was bloody Steph Curry, it just melts your heart. And I'm very lucky we do a job that we're able to make these kids smile, and it's not just for the kids, it's for the parents that never see their kids happy.
You're a bit emotional about this, aren't you?
I've been crying during the week as you hear stories of what happens to some of these kids at prep and grade 1, getting bullied, getting punched, getting their glasses stomped on, getting dirt thrown at them. And kids are supposed to be kids, and we've all been kids, and I had fun when I was a child. And being a kid's about having fun, so these kids haven't had that.
Well
but they did tonight.
They certainly did. Melbourne United are going to have fun tonight. They're going to get up here. I know you love them.
Yeah, they're going to get up. I just need Cooks for 2 more rebounds, and then I'll be sweet.
Oh, Fev.
Come on! Well done to Fifi, Fev and Nick and Fox FM, along with Melbourne United, for putting this together for the underdogs and their opportunity to put a smile on some kids' faces that have been doing it tough, excluded or bullied, and they got their moment to shine tonight. There's a moment to shine here for someone to step up, and it might be Galloway. He levels the scores again.
I didn't realise Fev was such a rebounding connoisseur.
When it matters most, their feet.
Again, they got the mismatch. White on Liafa. Finds Krebs in a bit of space, and that's what he can do, Tanner Krebs.
Had a heap of opportunity to do it. That's why they were a bit late on rotating. Puts it back out to 3-point. Lead to United.
Important final 2 minutes. Adams from way downtown. Tried his luck. Couldn't come up with the points. And now Krebs. They all back off. So he takes full advantage and makes the Kings pay. Back-to-back triples.
More defensive breakdown by the Sydney Kings, but full credit to Tanner Krebs. They're knocking down that second three. That's going to be great, keeping him in the game as Jalen Adams goes down the other end.
I'll tell you what, Alice. Right after that second three from Krebs, Golding turned to the bench to sit down. Looks like he's coming in for him, but the coaching staff said, no, you've got to get in there. This might change it.
There was the heat check.
Would have loved to see that one go down for him, Pete.
Have to leave him on the floor if he knocks that one down.
Would have lifted the roof off here at John Cain Arena. Let's put the whistle away. And then Adams, it was halfway down, just not quite his night. with his shot, 1 of 5. And beyond the arc. Krebs, will he try again? Tried to get it down to Lee, turnover. Kings have been able to force Melbourne United to a number of turnovers. That's now 9 for Melbourne United, which is pretty good in that area. And Kings with that, Cooks, I should say, a little floater.
5th assist for Jalen Adams.
7 points, 5 assists for Jalen Adams, and Xavier Cooks now 16 points on 7-11 shooting, 6 rebounds and a couple of assists.
Just run up and down.
And it's the intangibles that Xavier Cooks adds to this Sydney Kings team. He never gives up on a possession. He never gives up on an offensive rebound. And we're just seeing the importance of him in this lineup. We saw he was a little bit quiet in that last loss to New Zealand, but we see him up and about. He's providing energy and he's trying to keep his team in this game.
And Brian Goorjian spoke about needing more energy. He was really disappointed with their energy and intensity last weekend. Xavier Cooks has certainly brought that. Golding. White with some athleticism, couldn't quite get the handle. Oliver just looked at the clock, saw there was enough time to get a better look for Liafa. And then Oliver, with the offensive glass, couldn't finish. But both these teams have come to play. It's going to set up for an entertaining and important fourth quarter here from John Cain Arena. It's Melbourne United holding on to a 2-point lead. There is nothing separating these two teams at three-quarter time. Even Tanner Krebs with his back-to-back triples can't shake the determined Sydney Kings. Melbourne led by 1 at quarter time, 3 at the half, and they lead by 2 points at three-quarter time. Certainly game on here, Pete Hooley, Alice Kunik.
Sure is. I mean, have a look at Cam Oliver's response. 12 points, 12 rebounds, and he's out there to start the fourth quarter. We have not seen Cam Oliver fourth quarter minutes in some time.
Here's Adams. They swing the ball around. Cooks with a no-look find. Adams thought about it. Instead, gives it off to Cooks, who throws it down.
He's doing that very well. Just missing again with his lower back, but how many times are Melbourne United going to over-rotate? Marcus Lee has to understand Jack White's got that covered.
There's Golding for the response. He can't. Let's get to Nerily Meadows, who's listening to Brian Goorjian.
Pete Hooley was spot on. Brian Goorjian made a real point of face-to-face As Cam Oliver gets to the bucket once more, he'll have a couple of shots. Got right face-to-face with Cam Oliver and communicated clearly about the fact that he was going to be starting this fourth quarter. And he said, are you okay with that? He wanted to make sure they were on the same page. So you can see all through the week, talk about body language, talk about that communication between the coach and the star. They're making sure they get it right. To the team, he said, we need to focus, really hone in on defense. And I've got 2 timeouts for rest, so make sure you go hard when you're out there on the court.
He has trimmed this rotation back huge. They have 7 players who have played double-figure minutes, so really it's a rotation of, well, they played 9 guys, but it's really 7. Dwight Noy and Tyler Robinson just 7 minutes apiece, running with everybody else, and it's working right now.
You love the statement from Gorge. There's been a lot of talk about Cam Oliver not getting many minutes in the fourth quarter in recent games. He's gone to him and said, right, you're starting this fourth quarter.
I mean, he's earned that right now with how well he's played, right? 13 rebounds, 14 points.
He's been huge. Cam Oliver. Shea Illy is able to find a way to score, and again, we're tied up.
They also have to keep an eye on Chris Golding, 1 of 9 from 3. None of that matters when it gets to a fourth quarter.
Adams, you're looking at him, Alice. He certainly looks in discomfort.
He does, and we saw that after he passed that ball to Oliver as he tries to let one go. And he's obviously, it looks like he's about to ask for a sub, but he's grimacing, he's holding his back, he's on his knees, and we hope that he does stay out here on the floor because he's keeping this Sydney Kings team alive here. But so we see him right now holding his back. He just doesn't look like he's in any sort of comfort.
He's played the 22 minutes, 7 assists, 7 points. And he's trying to stay out there. Well, he can't guard White. Couldn't finish.
We just saw them switch that pick and roll. That's where if I'm Melbourne United, I'm getting them to switch that pick and roll, and I'm getting him on Jack White in the post and seeing if he can defend, seeing how his back is going to go defensively. As we see Ian Clark get one to the face there. But that's where Melbourne United need to really realise this mismatch. Put him in pick and rolls, make him play defence.
This is a bit of a worry here. Ian Clark went down straight away.
Certainly got one.
Right in the eye. I think Jalen Adams, the sub, has come, so Jalen Adams is coming out of this game. So it's Liam Burton who got him. Let's have another look at it here. Oh, Azalea Arthur got him flush.
Big into the eye, accidental, of course, so hopefully Clark is okay. He'll go to the bench. As you mentioned, Pete, as did Jalen Adams. Interesting to see where that might be him for the night, Jalen Adams, or whether he's able to come back out, because the longer the game goes, the slower that back will get, as we saw Clark go down towards the locker rooms.
It's probably a quick sub now to get some more heat on it. Try and see if he's good to finish this game. Spoke about the lack of rotations. Well, Dwight Noy and Tyler Robinson are in. Only played the 7 minutes.
Still no Kelly Lepepe at all in this game. No Sean Bruce. Golding. Back to Illy, who throws the lob for Lee. Well drawn up play, couldn't finish. And the Kings come up with the ball. Here is Noy. Again, the little handoff. And Oliver with a statement.
How good has he been?
He's been amazing. Offensively, defensively, he's been rebounding, and it's the intent that he's played with. And we know that he's always been a great player, but it was just maybe that little bit of body language that really wasn't impressing Brian Gorgian, but great to see this comeback from Cam Oliver.
Now Cameron puts on some moves with the reverse. That's a tough finish.
We relied on here down the stretch. Flynn Cameron, if Ian Clark can't go, back with that eye injury.
Defense is lifted from United. Oliver just gives it to Noy.
Thought he was going to jump out of the building there.
Incredibly athletic rebound.
Wow.
And then he might want to take on Tui one-on-one. He does, but Tui was too good. Responded with the block.
Great defense by Tui to stay vertical and stay in that possession right there.
And then again, the little handoff from Tui, not quite.
Keeping an eye on Jack White as well. After that miss, he kind of grabbed out his hamstring. He's just looking at the bench. He wants a sub now. I don't think it's necessarily hamstring related, just more so he's gassed. But he did quickly clutch at it.
It's been physical. And Robertson able to finish on the left.
Jack White is gassed right now.
can stand up inside these final 6 minutes. Cameron wants to be the man.
Great back-to-back buckets by Flynn Cameron. He's poised in the way he's attacking the rim. He's got Paul Cole, who's a great defender on him, but I love the way he finished. He was poised in that finish.
He's up to 8 points. Back-to-back games with 18. Last couple. Oliver has Golding. Likes the look of the matchup. Goes to work. Golding, though, great defense.
They're all out on their feet right now. United.
And the hands again were good from Robertson. Oliver looks like he's a bit tired as well, so there are some fatigued men out here right now.
There hasn't been a whistle since 2004.
Maybe it is time for some fresh legs. Robertson went for Oliver. There's maybe just a little bit of that fatigue setting in.
And we're talking about the shortening of the rotations for the Sydney Kings as White goes up. That's a little bit proppy on his hamstring there.
See, he just grabbed it there. Straight away. I don't think it's a concern as much as he caught a flat tyre.
We talk about the Sydney Kings and shortening those rotations though, Joey, but they have to go home and they have to play the Jack Jumpers on Sunday. So they've got another quick turnaround to play another tough game. So it'll be interesting to see if he stays with this lineup or if he injects someone like Bruce or Lepepe into this lineup.
Melbourne, of course, are here again. Melbourne Cup Eve, Monday night, hosting New Zealand. I think both coaches right now are just worried about winning this one. Worry about what's to come later. Who's going to step up? Davidova with a step back over Cooks.
Tough bucket by Daly. Cooks played great defense, was able to take that bump on the turnaround fade.
Xavier Cooks will have plenty of energy. He's had a spell. Two, he should have plenty of energy, the 20-year-old. Wasn't able to make that one. And now Daly starting to get to work. He draws the foul. Gorge, you can't believe it. Looks straight at his bench.
Gorge wants to have a look at it. I don't know if they're going to challenge it so much. There was contact. It probably wasn't enough.
Why would you do that? He's sitting right there.
It's definitely contact being out of position. And again, credit Delhi, a veteran play, just to throw it at the rim.
Let's get back to Nerily Meadows. You got an update on Ian Clark, Nez?
Yeah, well, Dean Vickerman's actually just checked in on him right in front of me. Clark was behind the scenes getting some treatment on that left eye. It's enough of a concern that both of the medical staff went in there to check on him. He's come back out and he's on the bench now. They said, just see how you go adjusting to the bright light. So he's still annoyed by it, but we're hoping it's nothing serious. We'll wait and see if he plays any further part in this game.
Yeah, thank you, Des. You can see there still looks in a bit of discomfort. Maybe he can come back on for the last couple of minutes. At the moment, it's Cameron and Davidova. Here is Cooks. Hand check. Very big speed.
Jalen Adams will be the next one to come in. Chris Golding from Melbourne United. And then Cam Oliver. Not too many other subs you think to finish the game out. And here comes Jalen Adams.
He will come back in. Take a look at the Amy replay. This was Cam Oliver. Another big throwdown.
Sometimes the beautiful thing about being in the headlines all week is you know you're going to get more opportunity than normal because your coach wants you to silence the critics as well.
Did respond to that Derek Rucker comment. The tweet said, thank you for the spark. It's Galloway gets another one to fall. That's a couple from him to a 4 from long range for his 8 points. And they trail by 1. Krebs, back to Bowen, ball movement, Krebs. Now Cameron. Great defense from the Sydney Kings again. He's been a feature in this game. Adams gets it to drop. And he looks to be okay. As Jack White, Chris Golding come to the bench and they'll check in a minute.
And Adams is so good when he comes off that on-ball screen. He's just always on-ball screen. He's always able to see where the defense is, where they're trailing. It's just a nice little pull-up jump shot there.
Davidova wants to attack him at the other end. Got it to Lee, who was fouled.
Still grabbing back every opportunity. Campo with the final couple of subs. Both teams, Cam Oliver coming in, Golding and Jack White.
Of course, unlock the ultimate fan experience with the NBL Plus, including access Some archival footage, in-depth stats, and exclusive partner offers now. Just scan the QR code below. Sign up for free. Make sure you check it out. All the information you need. Lee leaves the first one short. Cooks, all scores 18 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists. Almost been his season average. Leads the team in points, rebounds and assists. White checks in for Lee. Oliver. Check back into the game with his 16 points, 15 rebounds. He's been a monster tonight. Just needs to finish the job for his Sydney Kings to cause an upset away from home after disappointing losses to Perth and New Zealand. Galloway might fancy his chances, instead lost his footing. Turnover, and he's hurt too. Slow to get to his feet, that shoulder, but he's got straps. Anyway, Melbourne cough it straight back up.
There's going to be a sub here as well. He just landed, just putting his shoulder out. He has got it heavily strapped. Lost his footing there, right there, just enough. You've got shoulder issues. It doesn't have to be a whole lot landing on it there, just enough to send some shockwaves through, and that's not great.
It'll be Adams with Oliver, Cooks, Tui and Liafa. Inside the final 3 minutes. Oliver's got the mismatch on Dellavedova. Can he use his size and his strength and his class to finish again?
Well defended. It's not a mismatch.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's not a mismatch with Dally.
Casper Ware was the best guard, big post-up I've seen in a long time. Kelly's no slouch either.
Now he is trying to post up Jalen Adams. He knows Adams is sore. Cameron not shy in the big moment. Here is Jalen Adams bringing the ball up the floor. He's played through pain tonight. He's done exactly what the team have needed him. He just needs to finish the job.
And we see Sydney Kings going back to that possession. Dally
Straight to the same
Oliver.
matchup, that's right.
I'd like to see that one go down.
Minute 50 to play. United find themselves trailing. Golding, you said Pete Ooley, 1 from 9, didn't matter. He steps up when they need him most. Golding knocks it down, and United lead by 1 with less than 2 minutes to play. $14 points now for Chris Golding.
What he does is what he does. No matter how badly the night's been, he could be 0 of 19, Joey. The next one he believes is going to go in, and if it means winning the game, tell you what, you hit a couple here to put the game to bed. No one remembers your struggles.
Only you.
I have to take all the stats into account.
As a shooter, sorry, Pete.
I'm not. I am far from that. I knew my role. Know your role. I'll let you talk to the shooting.
Well, Chris Golding with his second triple of the night. It didn't matter that he was 1 from 9. He was going to keep letting him fly, and he came up big when they needed him. And Melbourne United now lead by 1 point. Mitsubishi Motors 3-point leaders. There he is, no surprises. And will he be bumped off top spot, Alice?
Oh, he's got close followings with Rob Edwards at 26 there, but we know how good Chris Golding is. We know how great he can shoot the ball, as Jalen Adams does, one of those tough loaders off the on-ball, but Chris Golding will never die wondering, and he's got his other teammate in Ian Clark up there in the top 4.
This back injury has actually probably helped Jalen Adams in this matchup against the tough defenders, because he's super patient and poised off every pick and roll opportunity.
Golding goes down to Lee. Adams had happy to give up the foul and send him to the free throw line.
That's a great find by Goulding. Cam Oliver is hedging out. He knows how deadly Chris Goulding can be. He doesn't want him to get off, so he's hedging him out on the on-ball screen there. Chris Goulding was able to turn the corner and find a nice rolling Marcus Lee down low.
No surprise that Paul Quall is coming into this game after he knocked one down. And I thought that was a shooting foul. So this is going to be a baseline out of bounds, which in the end, I know Melbourne United's not happy, but Marcus Lee, well, he's not Chris Goulding at the stripe.
There'll be 14 seconds on the shot clock. White gives it back to Dellavedova. It's going to be White, who's been red hot from long range the last couple of weeks.
How good does his stroke look? Shooting
He was confident.
The step back, gets Xavier Cooks to jump. They go out by 2.
And it's over to the Kings. Adams again for the 3rd time this quarter. How cool is he?
That's when Marcus Lee's got to be higher in that drops defense. We know that Melbourne United play a drops defense, but it's too easy. That's his 3rd little floater runner that Jalen Adams has been able to get.
13 points, 7 assists for a sore Jalen Adams. We're all locked up. Dellavedova finds White again.
Oh, wow.
Oh, he brings the crowd to their feet, and he is pumped.
He is shooting it with so much confidence. We knew this personal matchup meant a lot, and he is rising to it. It's not over yet.
3 of 5 from long range. Still plenty of time for the Kings. Adams didn't get the bounce. And of course, it's Jack White that gets the rebound.
He has been enormous. Set it off the opening tip, not just playing against Gorge, who left him out of the Olympic team, but he's playing against Xavier Cooks, his direct matchup for the Boomers going forward, and he has risen. I've got him in the MVP conversation. I have to have him because he has been enormous in this game, but everything that he does well, it's on the stat sheet, is highlighted, but it's everything he does off the stat sheet, which is why he's going to be in that conversation if it continues and they keep getting wins.
And Pete, I love exactly what you're saying about Jack White. I thought he could be in MVP contention too. But full credit to Matthew Dellavedova, who was able to find him on both those possessions. He hit that one step-back 3, and Matthew Dellavedova skipped the ball from one side to the other. He saw that he was open on the 3-point shot, and he trusted him to nail that 3. That's amazing leadership by Matthew Dellavedova.
White was big late against Illawarra, and he was big late again.
That's the worst miss.
Season average 14-11. 4 points.
Oh, wow.
That's the turnover, and that'll do it. Melbourne United have weathered the storm. The Sydney Kings threw everything at them, but in the end, they came up clutch when it mattered most. And it was Jack White who delivered down the stretch. And United go to 7-3 on the season. A gallant Sydney Kings couldn't quite come to Melbourne and get the job done. But what a terrific game.
Oh, unbelievable game. Again, that game was over in a heartbeat. We thought we were potentially going to overtime, and you know why? Because Shea Ili did Shea Ili things. Just when everybody thought you wouldn't dare lunge at a potential game-tying shot, Shea Ili just dove in there and stole it and didn't even let them get a shot off. Big effort from him. Big effort from United. I like what we saw from Sydney as well. I think they've really found something here, but in the end, what a performance.
And we talk about what we like from Sydney, and I think a huge thing that came out of tonight's game is Cam Oliver. The way he's responded to the backlash in the media and people talking about his attitude. The way he played tonight was amazing. He had a double-double. I think he had 18 and I can't remember.
16.
18 and 16. And just the way he played with that intent, and it was great to see. But full credit to Melbourne United. They had great leadership down the end of the game. Jack White was absolutely incredible and huge, huge game by him.
They all had their moments, the Melbourne United players. Flynn Cameron had his moments, Tanner Krebs stood up, Ian Clark did his thing, Chris Goulding with a big 3 late, Shea Ili on the defensive end, and Jack White and Matthew Dellavedova and all their experience. Jack White again, 14-11. Dellavedova led the scoring with 16 points, 5 assists. And Melbourne United in front of their big home crowd notch another win and continue to put the competition on notice. But they are the team that everyone is chasing. And we will go down to Nerily Meadows, who has the star with her courtside.
saved my team.
I've got Jack White alongside me, who is a bit embarrassed because he's telling me about his chipped tooth.
It looks good. It looks good. Yeah, I don't know if it looks good or not. Everyone can decide.
You're still looking good when you're shooting those threes, Jack White. Back-to-back, big threes to win the game. What does that mean to you?
I mean, I'm just happy we got the win. You know, Sydney's a hell of a team. You know, we had plenty of goals and what we wanted to limit it to during the game. They made some big plays at the end of the game and, you know, found myself some good spots to make some in return.
How much did this crowd help with the energy?
Oh, they're elite. You know, we have the best fans in the league. You know, we love playing here at John Cain. We're just trying to make the most of it before January rolls around and we're on the road for a bit.
I know you want to pump up the boys, but you are getting it done at both ends of the court time and time and time again. How much does it mean to you to be able to step up in those big moments with big blocks, big threes, big dunks?
I mean, it means a lot. I'm just having fun. You know, I love this team. I love this organisation. I love playing in front of this crowd. You know, I'm just trying to play my role to the best of my ability and try and help us win. So, you know, fortunate it worked out for us tonight.
What do you take? What would you prefer? Big dunk, a big block, or a big three? What's your favourite to do?
No, the big threes tonight felt all right. It's tough to beat a dunk, though. Yeah.
Jack White, well done. I've got Chris Golding as well, who is brilliant tonight. Thanks, Jack. As Chris Golding comes in. But Chris, we need to start with the breaking news that Shea Ili has just run off the court. Breaking news, baby 3 is on the way.
Apparently, I don't know, they said, Shill, you got to go. So amazing news for him and the family. We wish Morgan and the girls all the best. Somehow I think Shea will get through it okay.
Timing couldn't have been better. What about that result? You were pushed up by 10 points. They get back into it. They take the lead. And then Jack White pulls out 2 big Chris Golding threes at the end.
No. Yeah, you know, through a lot of the game, we did what we wanted to do, but, you know, they got some super talented players. Cooksey put him on his back there at times and just refused to get boxed out. You know, they made big plays, Adams, Oliver, these guys. So I reckon our review won't be that great defensively, but to come away with a win against a great team's really pleasing.
From a personal perspective, Brian Goorjian and Dean Bickerman spoke ahead of this game about the fact that perhaps you and Jack White, the likes of you, might be a bit more motivated after the Olympics. Did it come into your mind? Does it give you a little bit extra?
Not at all. We, you know, we work so hard during the week. We want to come out here and get results for our work, and you know, we want to get results for guys that last week got to get on the court, but you know, this week they don't get on the court. So we're a family. We work hard through the week to come out here and play this game to try and get wins, not about anything else.
You've put together 3 amazing games yourself, but I know one thing that you really want to talk about, the underdogs. You looked worried then. You looked worried what was about to come from me. The underdogs. We've seen them all night long, and what does it mean to you? You're a dad yourself. What does it mean to you to be able to support a cause like that?
Well, I was flat. Dino spoke for too long at half-time. I wanted to come out and watch him. But, I mean, we speak so much about how this game and this league, we want to be inclusive. We don't want to bully others. We want everyone to feel welcome. So super proud that us at Melbourne United could carry that through. And, you know, basketball should be a safe space for these kids to go and have fun and develop a love for the game. So if we could have helped that tonight, I'm really proud of my club.
Well spoken, well done. Congrats on the win.
Thank you.
Yeah, well said, Chris Golding. Great interviews. Narrowly Meadows, well, wasn't his best shooting night, Alice, just 4 of 13 from the field, but as we know with Chris Golding, when they needed him to step up late in that 4th quarter, he was able to deliver an important 3.
He's an absolute superstar, and we know that Chris Golding will never stay down for long, but, you know, it's not about having 20 every game to be impactful in the game. So full credit to Chris, and then he was able to come up big right at the end when they needed him.
Well, while Neryl's on a roll, we'll keep her going because she has Matthew Dellavedova with her courtside.
The superstars just keep on coming, don't they? Delly, what about that win? It was a real team performance. You were huge, Chris was huge, but Jack White at the end there when it mattered most.
Yeah, he's been shooting the ball with a lot of confidence, and that's what we want from him. I think he was huge in that Illawarra game with all the rebounds, but we want him being aggressive, and he hit big shots, Tanner hit big shots, CG as well.
When Cam Oliver is going like he is, how much does it mean to you that the team really supports each other and puts a stop to it to get the result?
Yeah, I mean, he's a really talented player. Then, you know, having to guard the pick and roll with him kind of short roll and popping, they have a lot of weapons on their team.
Shea Ili ran off before, baby number 3 on the way. Have you all decided what it's going to be called?
I don't know, but just wish all the best to Shill and Morgan, and yeah, look forward to meeting her.
Just finally, on a serious note, 4 games in 10 days. How do you make sure you manage your bodies and time and all of those sorts of things to get through it okay?
Get a lot of sunshine, stretching, steaks, oysters.
I was going to say steaks, oysters, the usual stuff. Thanks, Delia. Well done on the win.
Thank you.
Matthew Dellavedova, team high, 16 points. It was an even team performance, but in the end, Melbourne United held off a gallant Sydney Kings to win by 4 points in front of a packed house at John Cain Arena. They go to 7-3 on the season. The Kings drop to 5-5. On the other side of the break, Nerily Meadows will wrap it all up with Pete Hawley and Alice Cunett.
An important win for Melbourne United. They make it 3 in a row. Sydney Kings, they were coming in hard towards the end, but Jack White was a man on a mission and he got the job done beautifully. Back-to-back threes, clutch, 87-83, a 4-point victory for United to hand the Sydney Kings their 3rd loss in a row. Pete Hawley, Alice Cunett alongside me. That's significant.
Yeah, it is. I mean, you look at just the way the game flowed. I think the Sydney Kings look so much better than they did last week. We talked a bit about rotations. Still a couple in the 4th quarter that I'm sure Gorge would have wanted to have back, but they looked much better than they played last week. They probably just needed to put a bit more heat on the rim. Big discrepancy in free throws, but they should be promising, but take nothing away from United. They were outstanding.
The star late and really right throughout the game at both ends of the court was Jack White. Bless him, he was more concerned about his broken front tooth in that post-game interview, but he was sensational tonight, Alice.
Yeah, he was. He was everywhere on the court, as we've seen with that jam. He was shooting the ball with confidence. He was active on the defensive end. He was active on the offensive end. And the passion that he was playing with, to see that huge block on Cam Oliver and that step-back 3 dagger. Those back-to-back threes as Dally was able to find him. We love the way he was playing. We've spoken about it. We see MVP form right there with him.
I know it's early to start talking about MVP form, but you have a look at this Blackmore shot chart, but that buzz starts all year, and again, you continue to talk about guys who are playing at that level. If he continues to shoot that confidently and that well going forward, with his rebounding, with his defense, with every other little 1%ers he does that makes Melbourne so good, he will 100% be there. Right now, you could have to say he's a top 2 best two-way player in the league. There's a bit of Richie Benham about that, a lot of twos in there, Nez, but he's been terrific.
22. Just adding that to his game, though, to consistently and under pressure to hit that is really, really important for him, but for also United.
It's been all season long that he's shooting it with confidence. It didn't start knocking down in the first couple of rounds, but he stayed with it. But you're right, in that moment to come up that clutch, it's going to do it wonders. That's the next evolution of his game.
Cam Oliver, he had a wonderful game, nearly got them across the line. So much talk about him. He said, thanks for the spark, Derek Rucker, with plenty of talk about his body language. Alice, what did you like most about his game tonight?
I loved everything about him tonight, and I love that he was injected into that lineup. He was playing a lot more minutes, especially in the fourth quarter. He was patient, he was poised, he was active on the defense and the offensive end. He was really aggressive, and I love the way he set screens for his teammates. We know how good he is. We know he's such a good player, and there's a reason why they brought him to the Sydney Kings team. But it was the energy and his body language that he played with, and I love to see the way he played tonight.
And I spoke about some rotations in the fourth that Gorge might want back. I think if he had his time again, he'd start Cam Oliver on the bench in the fourth, bring him in around the 8-minute mark so he can close the game out. Having him start, he got a little tired, he had to get a breather and thrown back in, kind of threw him out of whack.
It is interesting because I overheard that conversation. Brian Goorjian said to him, you're getting a rest now. I want to go back to you. Are you okay with that, or do you need more of a break? And he said, no, I'm good. So they had that conversation.
No players ever say
obviously a player, but a coach,
no one said that.
But a coach to go to him and actually have that conversation is what makes it a little bit different.
It shows growth.
Correct.
Yeah.
And there's been a big talking point throughout the week. And I always came off the bench, so I know exactly what that's like. Tomorrow, it's a doubleheader. We've got the champs, Tassie Jack Jumpers, up against Southeast Melbourne Phoenix with the King era beginning. And then the top of the table, Illawarra, up against the Perth Wildcats. Doubleheader Friday. So much to look forward to, completing in RAC Arena. Thanks so much for joining us for Thursday Night Hoops. An important game, a big game. Sydney tried their very best, but in the end, it was Melbourne United who won 87-83. 3 in a row, 3 losses in a row for the Kings. Discussions to be had, work to do. Good night.
This program is brought to you by Hungry Jack's and Bunnings Warehouse.